Alright, welcome to Remix Report. Today we're sitting down talking to the DJ's DJ, DJ Spryte. What up? Thank you for coming on Remix Report. Thank you. As you know, many of you who are DJs who are watching this, many of you are DJs. He does pretty much the sickest mixtape every month. Everybody's always talking about it. It's like, it's just the shit. Can you tell us maybe a little bit about what goes into making that mix? Because I know it's got to be...
Oh yeah, I mean that mix originally, how that whole mix started was, I originally was making mixtapes for myself in the car, like the stuff I just wanted to listen to. Because I mean, primarily I'm doing spots that are more like the top 40 type genre, and I've always been a house head growing up in Chicago. So I just started making these tapes, and then I was like, screw it, at the time Andrew and I had the site Bezo coming out, and I'll give you, a code, and you can, put your mixes up. And then I just started putting them up and developed the following, just to kind of keep it monthly thing. And like it's been going for almost a year and a half now. I just did everything that I want. It really doesn't matter genre, but I'm more of a house head, so it tends to be more up tempo. So everything that I like, feel that I want on the tape, just put it up. And it's like it's still mostly for me, but I'm glad to have developed a little following off making it. So.
Is it all done live?
The record is just pretty much live. And then I'll go back in and kind of add like some little cuts here and there, drops. But I mean, I'll make the tape usually in about 3-4 hours. I'll just organize and create like everything that like also I want to put on it and just kind of see where it goes. And yeah,
this like it's great. It's super. It's quick mixed, like quick mixed house. Just all the bombs. It's amazing. I love it. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out DJ Spryte on Bezo.net.
Bezo.net.
But the scratch thing you just mentioned, actually going back and layering scratches. I know Spring had a question about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about just in terms of scratching. You obviously have a turntablist background.
Yeah.
I want to talk about more of the live aspect.
Sure.
As someone who can scratch real good, when you play live at a club, how do you balance it? Because obviously you don't want to scratch and kill the crowd with it. But.
It's like, it's one of those things where, like, I have the skill set. I battled for like 10 years. So it's like I didn't want to just let it go to waste. So I pretty much just incorporated, as much as I can, but I don't go overboard because obviously we're at the club and they don't want to do too much scratching. So, a lot of cut in, cut outs. I mean, if I know there's a lot of DJs there, maybe I'll do a little bit more. But I mean, other than that, I pretty much keep like playing the music, just trick it up a little bit, just add a little bit of flavor, but not go too overboard.
So do you still do a lot of turntablist stuff? Like, do you still like session and stuff with other guys? Or?
If I'm like going to go to a scratch DJ, I mean, every time it's like, let's have some beers and do a little scratch session. So other than that, I don't really get to practice that much at home. I judge a lot of battles when they come around. A lot of the DMCs and stuff when they come out, like you judge for those. And like I know we started judging with the Bezos having that battle at the backside of Burbank, actually where I live. So I'm mostly judging, but I don't really do too many routines anymore. But every once in a while, that session on.
Did you start out like how we did, with playing mostly hip hop? Is that how you started as a DJ?
Well, when I grew up in Chicago, so there was two scenes and they didn't really mix. There was an underground hip hop scene. I started in '92, and then there was an underground house scene. So in Chicago, they were both equally as big. So I did both, but separately. So I'd have my underground house parties where I bring all my old Chicago hard house, and then my hip hop parties where I bring all my like hip hop. But that's why I kind of have a dual background. But I did both. So
that's definitely giving you a lot of ground.
Yeah, it's kind of like. I mean, I went more the hip hop route with the battling. It just tends to be what the battling was. But I've always listened to house. I've always been into it. So like now, it's like come back around like DJing clubs and everything. Kind of come back around like what I love and play in the house.
Have you seen battling change since you were really?
Yeah, I mean it's not as relevant anymore in the States. A lot of the big companies and big battles have kind of dried up. So it's starting to come back around now a little bit, but it kind of fell off around 2003.
Yeah.
But it's starting to come back.
I wanted to actually go back to the hip-hop versus the house thing. We were just talking about the other day how a lot of hip-hop DJs think the house is really easy to spin, and maybe like vice versa. As someone who plays both, and you've done both for a while, which do you think is easier? What are the differences?
I think everything is like, when you talk about like blending or mixing records, the technicality is the same, mixing house or hip-hop. It's just more of like programming and how you play it. That's where more of the skill set comes in. Because, anyone now, especially with Serato, can like take two records and match the lines and blend two records. It's not really that difficult anymore with the technology given. Now the skill just lays more like programming, reading the crowd and party rocking no matter, what you do. I mean, I'm in this weird middle ground of house and hip-hop. So I got all these parties all the time where like, I'll get booked and it'll be like a top 40 club, and then I'll do this, my monthlies will come on. I have this house crowd, so I have to figure out how to balance both of those. Or vice versa, I'll get booked in a house party, but the promoter thinks it's house, but people think otherwise, and then, I just play for the people, whatever gets them dancing.
Does that ever get you in trouble?
I try to balance it as good as possible, you know, like, sometimes, but, you know, I've been pretty good about it.
I heard you on the Mickey D show.
Oh yeah, I've done it a couple times. Yeah.
And we're not going to put you on the spot at all, but I just want to address something real quick, because I guess off camera with them, you had said something that all DJs are evil. And I kind of have an idea of what you meant, but we're not going to make you name any names.
No.
I want to know, like,
what Danger was talking about was I always bust on it because it's like such like the most. It's funny because like you know my experience with DJs, you know we're all we party for a living pretty much. You know we get paid to go and spin music and drink and have fun and like all that stuff. So and Danger Zone is about it's like quiet. Like I don't drink. I eat healthy. Like I don't really talk to girls in the club or anything. So it's like I always make fun of them. Like man, you're like not evil enough at all to be a DJ. So that's where that comes from. Because he's just such like a nice kid. Like he's like, dude, just like do something. Like have a drink. It's all right.
Yeah, shout out to Danger Zone on Mickey D's show. Mickey Ward, great show.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be on there again. I know you just did a hip hop set.
Yeah, so I came on and did more of like a house, and like the show went more. Since DJ wanted to hear more of the hip hop stuff now, so they knew I used to do it, so they requested me to come back on and do like an old school like hip hop set.
I haven't had a chance to hear it yet, but I know it's going to be awesome. It's fun way to check it out.
Yeah, I just want to talk real quick about marketing. We already talked about the Gizo thing, how you do a mix every month, and that's definitely a good way to put yourself out there. But as someone who's already pretty much the top of the game, like, what do you do? Do you have to still do something to stay?
I mean, I do a constant hustle because I'm not under a management team. I'm not with like Next Artists, Scam Artists, or Bluesway, so it's like it's been individual since '92. Like it's my own management. So yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's like a constant like staying in contact, keeping my name in promoters' faces, making sure like I'm always like relevant and like they have a reason to rebook me or like you know. So I'm always on the hustle all the time. That's one of the primary reasons I'm here. I mean, I'm spending it couple nights, but it's a great, you know. I've already like yesterday booked like a couple gigs in like South Carolina and Boston. It's all networking.
Is there any reason behind that? Being with the management?
No, well, I mean, it's great because I got into the game before like a lot of those management companies were relevant, and I'm not from LA originally where they're from. I'm from Chicago, so there really wasn't much there. So I mean, I kind of established myself before in the travel game, sort of before a lot of those solidified, and like now I'm able to travel. Luckily, I'm grateful like on my own right now, so I don't have to like pay a cut back or retainer back. So it's been good. It's more of a hustle, and some months are up and some months are down, but I've done great at it. You know, I'm happy with the money, so you know, we'll see. I mean, I'm not against it, but like I just haven't really gone that route too much.
So one more thing, as someone who travels a lot, we've been having a lot of people ask us lately to make like regional playlists. We're curious, when you go to different spots, do you have a different idea of what you're gonna play for the crowd, East Coast, West Coast?
If I haven't been there, like I'll like a lot of times I'll check like the charts. Sometimes the charts are a little bit different.
Any particular website?
No, I'll check like every kind of city has like a top 40 channel, like a Kiss FM, and like a hip hop channel, like a Hot 97 or a Power 106. So I'll check those and see if there's any like big top 40 songs that I'm not playing on the West. For the most part, it's just by ear. I mean, I'm more of like an up-tempo guy, so I try to push that as much as possible. But I mean, I just check reactions. You know, like if something's not working, I'll just call it up with a banger, like to get them back and just try to play off that. So, you know.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on and talking with us.
Cool, man. Appreciate you having me on.
I know everybody out there likes to hear from you. So once again, check out DJ Spryte's monthly mix on Vizo.net. And are there any other websites?
You should be on my Twitter. It's twitter.com/DJ Spryte. My Facebook is DJ Spryte, DEEJAY Spryte. At the time, they were only doing names. I didn't want to do my real name, so I did DJ Spryte. And then myspace.com/Spryte1.
And that's Spryte with a Y. So we gotta get back to the parties. So we'll see you later.
Peace.
Remixreport.com